स्टूडेंट, इंडियन बैंकिंग सिस्टम में टॉपिक आपका चल रहा है इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी, जिसमें हमने सबसे पहले डिस्कस किया इसकी जनरल मेथड यानी कि क्वांटिटेटिव मेथड। आज इसकी क्वालिटेटिव मेथड के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे यानी सेलेक्टिव मेथड। द क्वांटिटेटिव कंट्रोल्स एक्सप्लेन्ड अबव अफेक्ट indiscriminately all sectors of the economy which depend upon bank credit, the control volume of credit, but leave the directionary credit completely free. Selective controls are designed to regulate the direction of credit. These controls by distinguished between essential and non-essential use of bank credit. These methods are as given below. First, rationing of credit. It means credit rationing implies controlling the regulating the purpose for which bank credit can be used. It generally provides credit rationing is also exercised by placing restrictions on demand of accommodation and rediscounting facilities for each bank. The central may charge a penal rate of interest from banks which cross the prescribed limits in relation to their overall liquidity position. Number 2, margin requirement. The difference between the value of security and the amount borrowed against the security is known as margin. The RBI is generally empowered to fix margin limits for various uses of credit which the commercial bank must observe. Margin requirement, while directly affecting the lender, also put a restraint upon the borrower and thus keep down the volume of credit. So number 3, variable interest rate. Variable interest rate charged selectively for different uses. Places or borrowers can be considered as selective as against a general dear and cheap money policy pursued through changes in the bank rate. Number 4, regulation of consumer credit. This is often practiced when there is either a abundance or shortage of certain consumer articles. The regulation includes permitting or banning credit for the purchase of certain consumer articles. Next is student licensing. The RBI ensures proper regional coverage through licensing. Through this, incidentally, is served the cause of selectively in regional development. स्टूडेंट नेक्स्ट टॉपिक देखिए, आता है लिमिटेशंस ऑफ सेलेक्टिव क्रेडिट कंट्रोल। नंबर 1, लिमिटेड कवरेज। देखिए, लाइक जनरल क्रेडिट कंट्रोल, सेलेक्टिव क्रेडिट कंट्रोल्स हैव ए लिमिटेड coverage. They are only applicable to the commercial banks, but not to non-banking financial institutions. But in the case of regulation of consumer credit, which is applicable both to banking and non-banking institutions. Number 2, no specificity. Selective credit control fail to fulfill the specified function. There is no guarantee that the bank loans would be used for the specific purpose for which they are sanctioned. Number 3, student, difficult to distinguish between essential and non-essential factors. देखिए, it may be difficult for the central bank to distinguish precisely between essential and non-essential sectors, the between speculative and productive investment for the purpose of enforcing selective credit control. Number 4, require large staff. The commercial bank, for the purpose of earning large profit, may advance loans for purpose other than laid down by the central bank. This is particularly so if the central bank does not have a large staff to check minutely the account of commercial bank. Number 5, discriminatory. Selective controls unnecessarily restrict the freedom of borrowers and lenders. They also discriminate between different types of borrowers and banks. Often, small borrowers and small banks are hit harder by selective control than big borrowers and large banks. Last, malallocation of resources. Selective credit control also laid down to malallocation of resources when they are applied to selective sectors, areas, and industries while leaving others to operate freely. स्टूडेंट देखिए, इसके बाद नेक्स्ट टॉपिक आता है इसका इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी क्रेडिट कंट्रोल. It means the monetary policy is a developing economy will have to be quite different from that of developed economy, mainly due to different economic conditions and requirements of two types of economies. A developed country may adopt full employment or price stabilization or exchange stability as a goal of monetary policy. Number first, developmental role. In a developing economy, the monetary policy can play a significant role in accelerating the economic development by influencing the supply and use of credit, controlling inflation and maintaining balance of payment. Number 2, student, creation and expansion of financial institutions. The primary aim of the monetary policy in a developing economy must be improve its currency and credit system. More banks and financial institutions should be set up, particularly in those areas which lack these facilities. Number 3, effective central banking. To meet the developmental needs, the central bank of an underdeveloped country must function effectively to control and regulate the volume of credit through various monetary instruments like bank rate, open market operation, or cash reserve ratio, etc. Next, developing banking habits. The monetary authority of a less developed country should take appropriate measures to increase the proportion of bank monetary in the total money supply of country. This requires increase in the bank deposit by developing the banking habit of the people. Next, monetization of economy. An underdeveloped country is a market by the existence of large non-monetized sector. In this sector, all transactions are made through barter system and changes in money supply and rate of interest do not influence and economic activity at all. The monetary authority should take measure to monetize this non-monetized sector and bring it under its control. Number 6, integrated interest rate structure. In an underdeveloped economy, there is absence of an integrated interest rate structure. There is wide disparity of interest rates prevailing in the different sectors of the economy, and these rates do not respond to changes in the bank rate, thus making the monetary policy ineffective. Next, debt management. Debt management is another function of monetary policy in a developing country. Debt management aim deciding the proper timing and issuing of government bonds, stabilizing their prices, or minimizing the cost of servicing public debt. Next, controlling inflationary pressures. Developing economies are highly sensitive to inflationary pressure. Large expenditures on developmental schemes increase aggregate demand. Next, long term loans for industrial development. Monetary policy can promote industrial development in the underdeveloped countries, promoting facilities of medium term and large term loans to manufacturing unit. The monetary authority should induce these banks to grant long-term loans to the industrial units by the providing rediscounting facilities. Next or last, reforming rural credit system. Rural credit system is defective and rural credit facilities are deficient in the underdeveloped countries. Small cultivators are poor, have no finance of their own, and are largely dependent on loans from village moneylenders and traders who are generally exploit the helplessness, ignorance, and necessity of these poor borrowers. स्टूडेंट नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में डिस्कस करेंगे इसके लिमिटेशन ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी के बारे में.